Let us see difference between sales and consignment. This question is very important for your exam. It will come to 5 marks in theory part. So it is very important. Let us see what is the difference between consignment and sales. First of all, ownership of goods. Ownership of the goods sold transferred from seller to buyer. In sales, the ownership of the goods will be transferred from seller to buyer. When a buyer purchases something, immediately the ownership of the goods will be transferred to him. But in consignment, the ownership of the goods remains with the consigner. So, when a consigner consigns some of the goods to the consignee, the ownership of the goods will be remains with him. And return of unsold goods. On this basis, the difference is goods sold cannot be returned back by the buyer unless in case of defective goods or goods not as per the specification. So, a buyer cannot return the goods like sold goods to the seller unless in some cases like defective goods and all. But in consignment, goods sent to consignee and remaining unsold with him can be returned back to the consigner. So in consignment, it is like a consigner consigns some goods to the consignee to sell. So if it remain unsold, it can be returned to the consigner. And relationship between the parties. Let us see. The relationship between buyer and seller will that of a creditor and debtor. The relationship between buyer and the seller is the relation like creditor and debtor. The relationship between consigner and consignee is the of principal and agent. Consigner is the principal, consignee is the agent. Let us see risk bearing. Any risk relating to goods has to be borne by the buyer. Any risk related to the product or any good will be taken by the buyer. But in consignment, any risk relating to the goods has to be taken by the consigner. Here consigner consigns the goods, so he has to take all the risk relating to the goods. And treatment of the stock. Stock of goods with the buyer is his own risk. And in consignment, goods unsold with the consignee are treated as stock in the books of consigner.